What if the next military AI stock is not building fighter jets, missiles, or tanks, but autonomous robots operating deep underwater without human pilots? Because while the world is distracted by AI chatbots and flying drones, a silent robotics revolution is already happening beneath the ocean surface. Most investors do not realize this yet, but the future of warfare may not be controlled only in the skies or on land, because the ocean is quickly becoming one of the most important strategic battlefields in the world, and governments are racing to dominate it using AI-powered robotics. Modern military operations now depend heavily on protecting underwater infrastructure, communication cables, energy pipelines, and naval routes, because whoever controls the ocean floor could eventually control intelligence, logistics, and global security itself. That is exactly why military organizations around the world are investing billions into autonomous underwater systems, because sending human divers into dangerous environments is expensive, risky, and extremely slow compared to robotic machines that can operate for hours underwater without fatigue. Countries like the United States, China, Russia, and NATO allies are all increasing investments into unmanned military systems, because autonomous warfare is becoming one of the biggest technological races of this decade, and underwater robotics could become just as important as military drones became in recent years. Most people already understand how aerial drones changed warfare after conflicts like Ukraine, because cheap surveillance drones suddenly became essential battlefield tools capable of tracking enemy movement, gathering intelligence, and assisting military operations in real time. But now defense analysts believe the next major military revolution could happen underwater, because autonomous subsea systems can inspect critical infrastructure, monitor naval activity, detect threats, and perform dangerous operations without risking soldiers or divers. This is creating enormous opportunities for smaller robotics companies developing autonomous subsea systems, because traditional defense giants are no longer the only players capable of participating in military technology revolutions powered by AI and robotics. Speculative investors have started watching tiny robotics companies connected to military automation, because many people believe autonomous machines could eventually become one of the fastest-growing sectors in the entire defense industry. Whenever investors hear phrases like military AI, autonomous robotics, or defense automation, attention immediately starts flowing towards smaller speculative technology companies connected to those trends, because people are constantly searching for the next explosive military stock before Wall Street notices it. Now, another tiny company operating inside this futuristic sector has quietly started attracting attention from speculative investors, because it focuses directly on autonomous underwater robotics, AI-powered systems, and subsea military technology. This company develops robotic machines designed to operate underwater while performing surveillance, inspection, mapping, and autonomous operations using advanced AI-powered software systems capable of reducing human involvement during dangerous missions. The company also focuses heavily on autonomous software, because future robotics may depend less on hardware alone and more on AI-powered systems capable of making intelligent, operational decisions during complex underwater missions. Retail traders especially love futuristic military AI narratives, because they combine multiple high-hype sectors together, including robotics, autonomous systems, artificial intelligence, and military technology. But despite all the hype, investors still need to understand that many speculative robotics companies face enormous challenges, because building autonomous systems requires huge amounts of funding, advanced engineering, and long development timelines. Robotics companies often struggle financially while trying to scale operations, because research, development, testing, and manufacturing require significant capital, especially when competing against larger defense contractors with much bigger resources. At this point, you are probably wondering what company we are actually talking about today, because this stock has quietly positioned itself inside one of the most futuristic military technology sectors in the market right now. The company is called Robotics, and its ticker symbol is KIT. This tiny robotics company focuses on autonomous underwater systems, AI-powered subsea robotics, and advanced software designed for underwater operations. Robotics has been developing autonomous underwater technology capable of performing inspection, mapping, and subsea operational tasks, without depending heavily on human divers or constant remote piloting during missions. One of the company's most important technologies is a robotic system called Aquanaut, which is designed to transform and operate underwater while performing autonomous subsea operations using advanced robotics and intelligent software systems. The company also developed an AI-powered software platform called Tool KITT, which acts like the brain behind many of its autonomous systems by helping robots navigate, coordinate missions, and operate with greater autonomy underwater. Military interest surrounding autonomous underwater systems has been growing rapidly, because naval forces increasingly need robotic systems capable of operating in dangerous environments while reducing operational risks and lowering long-term mission costs. Bullish investors believe KITT could eventually benefit from multiple powerful trends happening simultaneously, including military robotics, AI automation, autonomous systems, and underwater surveillance technologies. Others believe the company could eventually attract larger partnerships or defense opportunities if autonomous underwater systems become more widely adopted across military sectors in coming years. And because the company is still relatively small, even modest contract wins or successful deployments could dramatically impact investor sentiment and potentially create huge volatility in the stock price. Retail traders especially love tiny military AI stocks, because low-priced speculative companies often experience explosive momentum whenever defense automation, robotics, or autonomous warfare narratives dominate financial headlines. But investors also need to remain realistic, because this is still a speculative robotics company operating inside an extremely difficult industry where execution, financial management, and technological progress will ultimately determine long-term survival. One major concern is financial stability, because autonomous robotics development is expensive, and smaller companies often struggle to maintain consistent revenue growth while continuing aggressive research and development efforts. Another major risk is commercialization, because even advanced technology does not guarantee widespread adoption, especially when governments and industrial clients move slowly before approving large-scale robotics deployments. There is also strong competition from larger defense and robotics companies, with far greater financial resources and government relationships, which could make it difficult for smaller companies to dominate the market. Investors also need to separate futuristic military hype from actual business fundamentals, because headlines involving AI robotics or military technology do not automatically translate into massive profits or sustainable long-term growth. Still, the broader military robotics revolution is absolutely real, because governments around the world are actively investing into autonomous systems, AI-powered warfare, and unmanned operational technologies for future conflicts. The future battlefield is becoming increasingly automated, from aerial drones to robotic ground systems and now autonomous underwater machines, because militaries everywhere are searching for technologies that improve efficiency, intelligence gathering, and operational safety. Whether Nauticus Robotics becomes a major winner inside this industry or not, nobody can say with certainty right now. But the company has successfully positioned itself inside one of the most futuristic sectors in modern military technology. So the real question is whether KITT can successfully transform its autonomous robotics technology into long-term military and commercial growth, or whether this becomes another speculative penny stock driven mostly by hype from retail investors. But one thing is absolutely clear, and that is the future of warfare is becoming increasingly autonomous, because AI-powered machines, underwater robotics, and unmanned systems are rapidly changing how military operations work across the world. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe for more hidden military technology, AI robotics, and speculative defense stock analysis, because we are going deep into the future of warfare and the companies trying to profit from it.